Nostalgia. The definition of that word is a sentimental longing or wistful affection for the past. It is a bittersweet emotion that combines the joy of a fond memory with the slight sadness of knowing that moment has passed and cannot be relived. As of recently, I have found myself looking back at some of the past mistakes I've made, choices, and some of the great, things that have happened to me in the past few years of my life. And I wouldn't say I have been, just completely put to a halt in my life as to where I am right now over these, past decisions I've made, but I would say they have kind of brought me to a point where I'm more infatuated than I normally am with the past and decisions and whatnot, mistakes and everything I've done. And I think in this moment I've done a little bit of research and I've just realized how much of, how much nostalgia can control one's life and just completely just bring it to a halt and just keep you there in place for as pretty much as long as you let it. But some people let it just control their lives forever. And, that is not what any human should experience. It's great to look back at your past and admire it, but you have to learn to just let it go at some point and just say the past is done. There's nothing to be done about it. What's done is done. You have to move on. And so many people just struggle with that. Just processing that message that you have to let it go. There's no retrieving it. There's no getting it back. What's done is done. The decisions you made are done. The mistakes you made are there, and they're there to stay. They're going to be there forever. But also, you should look at it as, what, those happen. Those things happen. But look how far I've come since then. It depends how far you're looking back, but most of the time people hold to these decisions they made and mistakes they've made, and just the long regret it possesses over people is just mind-boggling to me, to be honest. And it's something that I don't want to control my life and something I don't want to possess me forever. I've made mistakes, of course. Everybody makes mistakes. Have I let it up to this point control my life? No. I've let some things go, but that's because I'm so young and some of the mistakes I've made are so minor and insignificant that I just forgot about it over time, and so did people around me. Like no one at this young age, like that's why people call it the time to make mistakes, because you are going to be making mistakes so much, and because the consequences of such mistakes are so insignificant and small that you might as well make them while you're young, because that is the only time you will live with pretty much no regret. And it's just like they say, you only live once. You gotta live life to its fullest, and you gotta just not make. You gotta, now's the time to make mistakes. As a young adult, you have to make these mistakes. You have to learn from them. That way, when you're older, you don't make as many mistakes, or hopefully you make none. But everybody's gonna make mistakes. You're gonna make mistakes for your entire life. The question is, are they gonna be, are they gonna be able to control you as much as they have for some other people? And doing some research, I've seen like people being 60 years old and just like staring at a camera and explaining to them a regret they had when they were 20 and how it controlled their life. And I'm just like, that is crazy. Like, how are you letting a mistake like that haunt you for that long? You can't let it. You can't let the past is gone. You can't let it control you. And I'm young saying this now. It's easy for me to say the past shouldn't control you. It's easy for me to say that, but that's because I haven't lived life to the fullest yet. I haven't lived, full life yet. But I'm glad I'm realizing this now as an adult, or as a young adult, that I can make these mistakes, and I can learn from them, and I can grow from them, and I can look back and say, you know what, I made those mistakes, but look at me now. I grew from it, and I got better. But you should never yearn for the past. The past is gone. There's nothing you can do about it. It's great to go back and admire it. Again, it's great to go back and admire it, but you have to learn that it's gone. There's nothing you can do. You have to move on. And the most challenging thing that people have is just moving on. And they cling to this, like, they cling to the nostalgia. They cling for the past because of just the easiness of it, the comfort, Maybe you had past relationships or friendships back there that aren't as good as they are now, and you just wish that you and that one friend were as close as you guys are now, or you guys were then. Like, you have to learn that you're going to be stuck in the past. You're not going to be looking towards the present, or even worse, you're not going to be looking towards the future, and you're just going to be stuck in this whole time, and it will control your life and you will regret it. And you can't let the past control you. Just be present in the moment and just appreciate where you are now. There's nothing you can do about the past. It is gone. It is over. There's nothing you can do. You can only move on from it. Okay? You can only move on from it. And you can only move on. You got the present in front of you. But you also have the future down the road that is just there waiting for you to just take control of it. And just it's just sitting there waiting, and so many people don't realize that, and so many people don't take advantage of that. And it's one of the saddest things in life is that people just get caught in the feeling of nostalgia, and they let it control themselves, let it control their lives, let it define their lives. Just like people are like guys like sitting, like all adults really, just looking back at high school and being like, yeah, those were the best years of my life, those were the easiest years of my life. They might be the easiest, yes, but you should also look at it as, hey, those years were easy, but also look at me, what I can do now. I can, do all this with my day, and I have kids now, and I'm raising a family. Like, wouldn't that be? Isn't that just a privilege? That should be a privilege on its own. It should make you happy, not be yearning for this time where you had, like, it's great to yearn for a time where you had, like, as an older adult, where you had no responsibilities, you had no care in the world, but it's also just them regretting that they didn't live it to their fullest when you should. And people, but there's also adults that lived it to their fullest and like, yeah, those are the best years of my life, man. But also, the thing that defines those people from them and other people is that they have they think of it a little bit more differently. They think, hey, those were the best years of my life, but look at me now. I have kids. I'm raising a family. Have a great job. I'm making money. I got a great wife. Like, it's just small things like that. Like, I think the older generation, a lot of them lack is just looking around in the present and just saying, hey, look all I have. Also, look at the life I still have ahead of me. I still have a decent amount of, life ahead of me. There's so much there to be achieved, and so much there to live. Don't let the past control you. Don't let it control you. You have to learn. It's great. Like I said, it's great to go back in the mire, but you have to move on. You have to move on. And it's one of the things that people don't like to hear, but they need to hear it. You have to move on at some point. And you have to just know there's so much more to life than that just life that you were living before, because you don't know how good life can get. Because if you keep living this way, you're not going to make any forward progress in your life, and that will ultimately haunt you in the end. When you're lying on your deathbed and you're thinking back at all those years you were just thinking about how you were in your past self, you're going to be like, damn, I really wish I just took the time to realize where I was in that moment instead of looking back at how I was, and looking at what I could have been in the future. And that is what people will regret. So don't be that person. Be the guy or the woman who looks at yourself in the mirror saying, hey, the past is gone. There's nothing I can do about it. Look at where I'm at today. What can I do today to get better? What can I do today to move my life in that future that I want? Because if you look 5-10 years down the line and you see yourself if you can picture that, because right now you have the ability to control where you are 5-10 years down the line. Compared to the people that yearn for the past, all they can do is they don't possess the trait of looking at their life 5-10 years down the line because they're too focused on the past. Don't be that person, because if you just right now look at yourself in the mirror and just say, hey, the past is the past. What do I want 5 to 10 years down the line? Boom. Okay, I want this car. I want this house. I want this in my room. I want, like, even if you're looking down like a month from now and you're just saying, hey, I want this in my room, or hey, I want this car in 6 months. Go out. You have the ability to go out right now. Go work for it. Do what you gotta do. get it, and then boom, in 6 months when you have that car, you're gonna be sitting in it. You're gonna be driving down the street. You're gonna be like, damn, like I did that shit. I saw it. I put in the work, and I achieved it. Compared to the guy looking at himself in the mirror, being like, man, miss the good old days. And then it's just, oh, remember when he did this, or remember when he did that? Oh yeah. Oh hey, let's go back to where we were. Like, hey, let's take a drive by the place where we used to hang out and just sit there for a few minutes. What the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing? What are you doing? You're looking back at where you were. You're not there anymore. It's gone. Let it go. Let it go. It's it's so crazy to me that people just let that define their life. And you know, just look yourself in the mirror sometimes and just like even every now and then just look yourself in the mirror and just say, "Hey, what I have today is truly a blessing." What and then just look at the future. What could you achieve in, so and so amount of time, you know? And I think that is the greatest. I think nostalgia is the greatest gift. Being able to look back at just all the fond memories and stuff like that, but it can also be the worst feeling in the world, and it can control your life. So don't let it control your life. Take advantage of your life and just say, hey, today is today, tomorrow's tomorrow, yesterday is yesterday. There's nothing I can do about yesterday. I can make today the best possible, and I can make tomorrow the best possible. And if you just have that mindset over and over again, your life can only go up and up and up and up and up. Okay? It can only go up. You're young. Take advantage of it. There's so much to life. Don't let the past control you. It's good to admire it, but don't let it define your life. Don't let it define your decisions, and don't let it haunt you. You have so much more. There's so much more to life than just the past. Thank you.